There down the bottom of your screen looks a little strange. They're having some clock issues here inside the stadium. Miller on his first. You know, Buckeye fans looking for a good start from Ohio State. There haven't been many of them. Pressure coming right up the middle, and they get.
Coach Meyer talked about on third down the different looks that this Illinois defense gives you. They get in a three-man line, they crisscross, and have the ability.
Of the power conference teams in the country, those two, the best rushing tandem in America. Short gainer there, right up the middle for Carlos behind Miller. Braxton going to give it to Smith. He barrels his way across.
It's nice to have Smith come in and relieve him at times.
Sophomore out of Fort Wayne going to get another carry, showing his strength right there.
To Miller, because he can still hit the big one.
Smith, for the third time in a row, needs the 48, and he gets the on his feet off the right side, lining up as a linebacker and dropping off into coverage. Miller with plenty of time and a wide open Stoneberg. It's the 8th play of the drive that started back on the Buckeye 21. Miller going to keep, gets a nice block from Hyde to the outside and in.
By Carlos Hyde coming up and picking off the linebacker. And that's the problem when Jonathan Brown goes out this quarter. They look worn down.
And the Buckeyes not letting that defense catch its breath. Carlos Hyde pulling his way into the end zone. Thank you very much, Reese. Buckeyes by one. A couple of Illinois field goals, keeping things interesting. Big win, but Urban Meyer said it was a big win at Penn State on the road in their last time out. And here is Miller working with the feet off that right edge, perhaps to help out with Mike Svatina, who is replacing Jonathan Brown at outside linebacker. The throwback to Vanette, second down for the Buckeyes as we start the second quarter. They lead at 7-6. Carlos Hyde with a short rushing touchdown, and now Braxton Miller, great passionate, energetic leader for this defensive unit. Being tested by Braxton Miller, Carlos Hyde and company, and the pitch. Linebacker replacing the injured Jonathan Brown now the rest of the way. Miller, straight drop, deep down the middle. Vanette's got
a deep ball down the sideline. It's the balls that are like the out throws, the shorter throws that sail at times on Braxton Miller.
Miller keeps a whirling dervish at rushing season in Ohio State history for a quarterback. Miller thought about a pitch to Hyde. Third down in the red zone for Braxton Miller. That was going to be incomplete, down to size. The Jug in Ann Arbor, by the way, after they beat Minnesota earlier. To Braxton Miller, that was the one game that stood out in terms of the passing game of Braxton. As he goes to his feet, gets pushed down at the fourth season right now, a 5-game skid. And this is a tough place to stop it, but they've had success here in the past. And Miller with a burst. Miller's got Hyde behind him. The fake to Carlos. Braxton Miller with the time and the catch. Philly.
Out of the game with young linebackers, you miss the guy coming across the field, and then Carlos Hyde up the.
Miller rolls right, throws left. He's got a man open downfield. Rod Smith with the catch at the tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC as Kansas State tries to stay unbeaten. Louisville has already won today to go to 9-0. Sweet moves by Miller.
Often.
Miller now with 12 carries, 66 yards. Carlos Hyde, his partner in crime, inside the 30.
The game, number one, it keeps Braxton Miller healthy, takes some of the load off of his back, but Carlos Hyde puts the ball in the end zone.
We're making it rain here at the shoe. Miller stepping away from Foster, who almost backed right into him. And now Braxton Miller with some green. The fake at the 8, and Miller spins.
Never relax, no matter what. Braxton Miller has the ball in his hands. All 11 guys on defense have got to keep
and forward, as most will, to call those plays. And now Braxton Miller going to give it to Carlos Hyde, and he is in for the 3rd time.
When he's tried to do that.
So instead of at the 11, they're out on their own side of the field here to start out the drive from the 49. Miller thrown out of bounds. by Terry Hawthorne. Tim Beckman did not agree. You saw his displeasure with the call. Miller going deep down the middle and incomplete. Further over his eyes. Buchanan forcing Miller out of the pocket. Now Braxton with time, looking downfield. Rod Smith. Yards rushing. They are the top power conference running tandem in the country. And Miller, Powell, they gave up just 138 yards of total offense in that first half. Held the Illini to a couple of field goals. And another finish things up.
Very impressive.
Speaking of impressive, there's your Thunder.
They've been on the field a lot today, especially in the first half, and they come out, and that's when they start to get gashed for these longer runs because they don't have guys to sub in and give anyone a break. Over 22 times a game in the last 4 games, on his way there today.
Here he is again, huge hole off the left side. Hyde carrying a couple of fellas with
for the last 4 games, and he's there early in the 3rd quarter.
Miller stepping up in the pocket, and he will not be able to get loose. Defensive coordinator Tim Banks talked to us about yesterday. Miller with the quick rollout, and Brown to the 21, almost. Hyde with the keep and the push forward for up as a receiver in the first half. Miller will look the other way. Smith is isolated to the left. Miller looking for him and runs out of time. Glenn Foster got to him before Miller.
Next to Miller, anywhere to throw this ball. And again, they're doing a pretty good job of collapsing the pocket.
Here go the Buckeyes on 3rd down and out of the timeout. They need 5. They'll keep it in the hands of 5. And the pitch to Smith emerging in that role. We've seen him everywhere. Miller will fake it to Hyde, looking for some room. Miller to the edge. Miller to the end.
Talk, what's wrong? But they were winning. You know, they were winning games and having to explain what's wrong because they weren't blowing teams out. They go to overtime with a team like Purdue, who State has so far.
Practice is still out there here. Final minute of the 3rd quarter with a significant advantage. Miller somehow getting out of there, and it's almost
for Illinois.
We saw 3 of them alone late in that Nebraska win at Northwestern a few weeks ago. Carlos Hyde against Indiana. He's got 121 here today. And he'll continue to add to it. Out to the set. Hyde will get the carry. He's already over 120 yards today, and he's across mid.
Be a fun one to sit down and watch.
Taylor Decker is on at right tackle to replace Fragel. Hireman, who had that
points on the board.
All coming up this evening. Of course, LSU putting that 22-game home field win streak on the line. 5 in red, leading the way for the Buckeye attack today. Miller feeling the pressure coming from behind, able to elude it. Braxton Miller. 2 guys in there along the front line as well. The give to the freshman Dunn bounces out across the 35.
About their ability to run the table, beat Wisconsin and Michigan. If they continue to do that, they'll be tough to beat by anybody.
It's incomplete.